Hey, I'm Randy and I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like audio equipment. Tower speakers, bookshelf speakers, subwoofers, DACs, amps, turntables, cables, balance cables, single-ended cables, speaker cables. Should cost more than a hang glider. So you can strap a piece of fabric to you that's spread out and jump off something and fall slowly to the ground. And these don't. What are they? They're the Emotiva T2 Plus tower speakers. So grab a cup of coffee in your favorite science fiction empty skull mug and let's talk about the Emotiva T2 Plus. Today's sponsor is Daniel's Mini Monkey Statues, made out of real metal. When you demand the highest quality and most accurate depictions of your symbian friends in a miniature form, there's only one choice. That's Daniel's Mini Monkey Statues. Okay, T2 Plus. Very excited to get the Emotiva T1 Plus in because they're $700 and super excited. They sent them to me and I opened them up and they're the T2 Plus, which are $1,000. And then I got excited again because I was like, you know what? No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna see what $1,000 pair of tower speakers sounds like. Okay. So I know a little bit outside the comfort zone of the old Cheap Audio Man, but I said we're gonna go every now and again. We're gonna jump out of that comfort zone. We're gonna see what else is out there. All right, magnetic grills. Okay, gotta be careful so I don't drop them all over. There's another driver down here you can't see, but these are big. They're quite large, okay? Let's go over some specifications. They're 91 dB sensitive at 4 ohms. That's pretty good. That's pretty sensitive. You don't need a ton of power to drive these, okay? 4 ohms, okay, their frequency response, 35 down to 35 hertz, up to 28,000 hertz. They're crossed over at 3,200 hertz for the mid-range and tweeter, and 350 hertz for the woofer and mid-range. Okay, they're bi-amped. All right, they have two 8-inch woofers, woven fiber. 4-inch mid-range. Yeah, and then a 25 by 32 millimeter folded ribbon tweeter. Some people call it an AMT. Emotiva calls it a folded ribbon. Okay. The amps that I used to drive this or receivers were the Onkyo TRN, I don't know, 686. Okay, that's the one I have in the living room. Then I have the Marantz NR1711. That's in my bedroom. And then I put the old Vista Audio Spark on it. Yeah, that's 20 watts per channel. For placement, I ran these in 2 rooms. Not in my office, because I doubt you'd be using these in a small room. So my living room, my main living room, very large, open space concept thing. 25-foot ceilings, okay? It's a big room, big room. When I was in there, I had these about 18 inches from the wall, facing directly out with a ever so slight toe in, all right? Upstairs, I think those are like 10-foot ceilings. Smaller room, I wouldn't call it, it's still a large room, but I had these about the same, about 18, 16 inches from the wall, toed in slightly, and then they were about 3 foot on the left side and about 10 foot on the right side. In the big living room down here, they were about 10 to 15 feet away from the side boundaries. Okay. Let's talk about Soundstage and Imaging. Soundstage and Imaging. First, I said that it was a 4-inch mid-range. It's not. It's a 5 1/4 inch mid-range. I knew it looked too big to be a 4-inch. Soundstage and Imaging. All right. It can be surmised that this speaker will probably be utilized not just for music, but also for home theater use. Because of that, me and the kids watched the Lion King. Not the cartoon version, the one where they make all the animals look real, but they talk. Okay? Actually, it's a really good movie. And the movie is the sound track, not soundtrack, but like just the sound mixing is excellent. All right, so excellent that while I was watching it with the kids, Number one, I had to check to see if the center channel was on because I turned it off for this. It wasn't, okay? So center imaging, pretty solid. Number two, I thought there was a bunch of animals coming out of the right side of the house. Not like literally, but there was like enough soundstage over to the right that I was like, it sounds like a jackal scratching at the door. No. But no, it scared me. Not like really scared me, but it startled me. I guess what I'm trying to say is soundstage is pretty good. Okay. More human than human. White zombie. At the beginning, there's some electronic noises. Starts dead center, and then goes ping-pongs back and forth between the speakers. Not only did it travel seamlessly between the speakers in all my rooms, but it actually went outside the borders of the speakers. All right. The chain, Fleetwood Mac. I finally remembered her name, Stevie Nicks. She's dead center in the middle. Again, I had to continually check to see if the center channel was on. That they center image so well. All right. Soundstage and lateral imaging on the T2 Plus is, in a word, perfect. All right. Hello by Adele. On some speakers, she'll go a little bit above the speakers. She did do that, but vertical imaging is, I wouldn't say the standout part of Soundstage and Imaging. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the other stuff is so good. The design of the tweeter is such that it has a little better lateral dispersion than vertical dispersion. But since they're so tall, it's great. Let's talk about bass. The T2 Plus can drop some bombs like an aircraft. Like an aircraft that is designed to drop hellfire and fury on our enemies. So does the T2 Plus. Drops hellfire and fury on our eardrums while we're watching a really awesome piece of music or movie. All right, Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. Deep, extension, punchy, the T2 Plus, wonderful. Just as I had to check to see if the center was on, I had to check to see if the subwoofer was on when I was testing these for their bass extension and bass punch. And the subwoofer was off. Okay. Narcissistic Cannibal by Korn. At the 1 minute mark, there is a doo doo, and it goes really, really low. No problem. So what, Miles Davis? The stand-up bass line was detailed. It was clear. The tone and texture of the bass was sublime. Bass is deep, authoritative, and will shake your fake trees. I have 2 fake trees in the living room. And of course, when you're testing bass out on a speaker, you have to put on the old Jurassic Park and the T-Rex, and like the trees shaking a little bit. All right, well done. Let's talk about Midrange. Alice in Chains off the MTV Unplugged record. Harmonies were separated. Acoustic guitars were detailed and had body. Tracy Chapman, Give Me One Reason. When I first did, my first Emotiva speaker was the B1 Plus, and I purchased that on my own. It was early on when the channel started, and I made a comment about Tracy Chapman. And the same thing holds true for these, except it's better and bigger. Everything about that song, from the imaging to her voice to the acoustic guitars, was nothing but accurate, in the room, and otherworldly wonderful. King of Pain, Alanis Morissette. Perfect. Perfect details, vibrato. I think it has a lot to do with the tweeter as well, like when the tweeter dips down, but it's great. This 5 1/4 inch woven Kevlar fiber driver is brilliant. Let's talk about treble. We can put this to bed real quick. As in every other Emotiva speaker that I've heard, treble is detailed while not being sibilant, harsh, grating. It is wonderful. the level of clarity is unrivaled at this price point that I have heard in any of the Emotiva speakers. It's wonderful. The treble is absolutely wonderful. King of Pain, Alanis Morissette. That song is recorded with some Midrange in her voice. Okay? So, if a speaker has not great treble, it will really accentuate the recording. These handle it great. And I was worried. I'm like, man, I don't know if this is going to be any good. Okay, because it's so detailed and so clear, but it's done so well that you don't have to worry about ambiance, stuff, room, air, space, things like that, done by Nirvana. You can hear the largeness of the room. It's great. It's great. They only go up to, and I say only, they still go up high. They only go up to 28K, but the way that it goes up, like after, I think probably after like 15,000 hertz, it just feels like it's awesome. Centerman, Nina Simone, the hi-hat. What I'm doing with my left hand. It's harder to do with my left hand than my right hand. Yeah, that's not very good at it either way. Anyway, the hi-hat was realistic, detailed. You could hear the tactile nature of the stick hitting the hi-hat. Perfect in the room. Wonderful. What are my final thoughts? At $1,000, this is the most expensive piece of equipment that I've reviewed since the channel has started. All right? At $1,000, I think this is one of the highest value products you can get in audio right now. I had an opportunity to listen to some B&W. Anyway, they're $10,000 a piece. They weren't as big as these, but they were tower speakers. And these sound awful similar. Now, the B&Ws, there's a bit more depth in forward to aft imaging and things like that. But if you had blindfolded me, I would have a difficult time picking out and differentiating the $10,000 speaker from the $1,000 speaker. This speaker can anchor your system, like a 5.1, 7.1, 9, 13, 12, 100.1 system, or it can be your system. Because I didn't need a center channel. I didn't need a subwoofer. I was in 2-channel movie bliss. And, I mean, for music. But what blew me away was the imaging and experience that this speaker gave me when there was only 2 speakers watching movies. I didn't feel like I was losing much. Yes, there are certain extremely low frequencies that weren't there. But I could have turned off every other speaker, which I did, and told people, yeah, this is 5.1, and they'd be like, all right, I get it. Construction is excellent. They're braced very well. They're built very well. They have a ginormous port on the backside. They're, for as large of a cabinet as this is, they're braced very, very well. The front baffle is very thick. Aesthetics is going to be subjective, and it's always subjective, but Emotiva doesn't make any, like, they lean into it. This is available in any color as long as it's black with fake leather wrap. I like that. Be you. Lean into it and be awesome. If you don't like the aesthetics and you want to move on because of that, I get it. I get it. But these are built wonderfully, and I think they're pretty cool. Okay? I haven't heard any other towers in this price range. I've heard a couple pairs that are $600, and they're good. I haven't heard any, in the $1,500 range or whatever, and I don't think I have to. I'll do it. I'll listen to them, but the T2 Plus has set the bar pretty high. Okay? All right, if you want to support the channel, there's a few ways you can do it. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have patron-only Zooms. We also have a patron-only Facebook group, and we do other things. Sometimes we have patron-only content, okay? Also, you can sign up for Amazon HD Music for free. Click on the link in the description, scroll down to the bottom, and click on Try HD. You get 3 months for free, and I get a couple of dollars. I have my test track playlist, my Satanic Panic playlist, my leg warmer playlist, all down there. They're a lot of fun. If you use the links in the description, those most of the time are affiliate links, which means if you buy the product, I will get a commission. It doesn't cost you any more. Also, if you're interested in building a DIY kit, but some of the process seems a little bit, I don't know, unnice. You don't want it. It doesn't seem fun for you. I'll put together a kit for you, and patrons get a discount on that. Okay. So don't binge watch Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. Binge listen through your new Emotiva T2 Plus, one of the best values in audio right now, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the cheap audio man.